Alright, so here we go. This is a 2007 Ford Fusion SE. It's got a rebuilt 6-cylinder in it. Evidently the young girl that was driving it before ran it out of oil and the motor locked up, so they had to rebuild part of it. It was for sale right down the road in our neighborhood for $750. We saw it riding on the golf cart. And Hudson, say hi, and his dad thought, you know what, if we could get it down for $500, even maybe $600, and it runs, this could be our derby car. Now it has some rough spots, as you see, with the body, and underneath it's not too bad for being 11 years old, as today is September the 21st, the first day of fall, Hudson keeps telling me, as we've got all of our decorations up, including our scary pumpkin reaper that we got from Home Depot. He's pretty excited about. Hud, what do you think of the decorations? Thumbs up? Yeah. So we got it for $500. Kind of showing you here. It runs. It does have a oil leak across kind of the top part of the motor. I would assume the gaskets are wore out. The reason why I was so... Hi Nora, say hi.
Hi.
Why I was so enticed to get it is because it runs well enough that even with the leak, there is no motor work that needs done. So you can see... Hang on, honey. We're making a video. We're going to record it as we kind of make it. So the motor, other than what needs done for the derby with the battery and the different stuff needs taken out and the plastic, and we'll move the fuse boxes and all that, the motor runs well enough for a derby. It actually runs really good for a derby in my opinion. It runs well enough to be on the road. Brakes are wore, shocks are wore, that's why it failed inspection. You can see it was inspected up until this month. And it was a week ago from today that we got it for $500. It's got a big trunk, which again, it's a newer car, so this old girl, even though she's a decent sized car, when she starts smacking around with those older big cars and the full size, she's gonna crinkle up quick, but that's okay. I knew that. We're not gonna do a ton of work to it. This will be the first demolition derby car that I've ever had, so keeping it as simple as possible, not having to try to rebuild a motor or anything like that, is what we're after. Then we'll start her up. You see it's power everything, power windows, power doors, power mirrors, all that works. It does have a sunroof, but the sunroof does not work. She fires right up. Runs pretty well. You can see here, I think that's where it's leaking from. Hud and I raised it yesterday on the jacks, on the jack stand, and seems to be leaking there and running down. I don't know if you can see there. Running down the motor to the oil pan. But that's alright. So it is September the 21st. We've had her for a week. She's just sat here. We're going to start in the near future here. We're going to try to sell as many, like the power mirrors and everything that work. Get those on Craigslist, see if we can sell those. Otherwise, we're going to start stripping the plastic. Kind of get an idea what it looks like now. See the dash and everything's in good shape. The CD player works and the radio, just the dash doesn't light up on it there with the lights. It's kind of dirty. Has 220,000 miles on it, and that's not the original motor. This most of this motor is now from a 2006. instead of the 2007 that it actually is. So here she is. We are going to start tearing her down and making a derby car out of her. It'll be our first one next year, 2019. We're going to start, put it in a Clarion County Demolition Derby. Should be fun. Hey, here's our fearless dog Yoda. Today is the second day of fall, huh, Hud? So we are going to start just tearing apart a couple things. Just kind of get the ball moving. We're going to take off this inner part of the door and the door handle and everything there. Try to keep it all together. We're going to sell as much as we can, or try to sell as much as we can online. So we're going to take that off right now. Probably do both of the driver's side doors, or maybe we'll do first each of the doors, the driver and the passenger, and then we'll come to the back. And then we're going to start kind of ripping up all the other stuff. So kind of give you a view of before and after, huh? Hud's my future demo derby driver. Right now he's a hard-working stick picker-upper. We had quite the thunderstorm and wind that came through here. It got pretty strong. So we're going to start taking this all apart. Pretty simple process for each door. You got a screw here. You got a screw inside here. Just pops that little plastic piece there. The circle pops out. There's a screw there. And there's one more in the bottom, and then just pop it out. And we'll see what we got. So here we go. Yoda approves. So here now sits the interior plastic for all four of our doors. Pretty simple process. Give you an idea of what it looks like now that they're stripped. See, we left for now the door handle itself in there, and we can hook these right back up for the power windows and put them up and down whenever we're ready to take out the actual windows. That process we're not really sure of. We are demolition noobs after all. We're not really sure how to do this. Kind of learn as we go. But the motor, the speakers, everything's good. Took the interior plastic off too. Everything works, so we're going to see if we can sell it. But this is what she looks like now. Let's see, pretty bare bones. We're going to leave this baby in. Whenever we get to the derby, a little bit more reinforcement, get the windows out of there. See, we just made piles in each spot for now. Listed each of the screws so we knew what goes where. Same thing up front. Try to keep everything. There's Yoda, our dog, eating leaves and grass. He's on a salad diet. And there's Hud raking leaves and grass. So here's the rear passenger. He eats leaves, bud. And then there again. You can see not too over processed at all. We got all of our parts. We'll see if we can sell anything. Otherwise, it'll go to the scrap next year. Kind of neat. The interior seats and cushions and everything is where we're going next. We're going to leave the windows in until next spring, when we can just leave it out and not go through the winter. As in PA, you can see we got the leaves changing. Hud's raking them. We've got several leaves around. They get in our pool something terrible. Front yard, we got trees as well. Same thing over there. So the process continues. Alright, so one last video here showing this part of the kind of deconstruction of the car here on Demolition Noobs. We're kind of making it up as we go. We see how I've pulled the roof kind of down after I got everything out. And here are the two back plastic corners for the rear, and then those are the two driver and passenger side ones, so they go right here. And yes, if you can see, I have a little frozen band-aid on. I scuffed myself and that's all we got, unfortunately. So this now is what it looks like. So you can see we're down, a bunch more wires exposed, excuse me. Again, this one has a sunroof. You see how it kind of pulls back. This just simply pulled down and off. And something to show you up front. The visor, you see here, this one is removed. Very simple. I left this one up. You can see how there's just, get the focus in there, just a little Phillips screw on each side. That one has two. This one just has one. This one had a little power wire that came through here for the light for this. Just simply popped out. All you do is, again, use the tab or a flathead screwdriver to pop up the tab, screw those right out. That's kind of all that's holding it up here. And then she's coming down. And again, we already removed the door handles. And just kind of a tip too when doing this, I haven't gone and removed this part yet here, but a lot of people, I had a window broken and replaced one time, and I had the guy I was talking with, he said something, you know, why should you, I guess, use gloves when kind of cleaning out a vehicle, but in particular kind of this part where you're reaching up in and you can't quite see what's up there. I was very careful and courteous. I actually used a screwdriver first to pull it down to see if there was anything up there, because with these older cars, especially if you get one off somebody, it's kind of shady. But even if the person's not, a lot of people, the guy was telling me, like right up kind of in here, he's found needles, dirty needles and things like that, that he almost reaching up in, replacing like a windshield or using his tools, has almost cut himself on. So just kind of really be careful of that. Again, I used a screwdriver to pull down so I could see, to make sure there was nothing kind of there that I could cut myself, or especially like a dirty needle or something like that. But yeah, in today's world, you know, look after yourself. So there we go. There's the remaining plastic pieces, and we're gonna finish pulling down that front part. And just a quick little show you what the plastic off. There's the cup holder plastic. Very simple to take off. Just kind of opened up the container lid here, put a flathead screwdriver in there, popped it up, and the whole unit just kind of popped up and off. The little silver piece there that was around here came right up as well. This has a cigarette lighter in it, as does this, so they're still attached. But all that's holding in this center console here is there's on each side up front. You can see the one right there where I'm pointing is a bolt holding up there, and then in the back, same thing. Just a bolt right here, and then the same on the other side. And now that thing is completely free, rather, to lift. The only thing holding it together is actually the wiring for, there's a cigarette lighter in there, and there's a cigarette lighter up front. So just kind of show you the last little plastic piece before I pull it out. And we're getting down to the bare bones. We're going to remove the carpet, and the seats will be out of here as well. So today entails the great debate. As you can see, we have removed our headlights. We had an individual that was interested in them, so we sold them to him. And we popped the bumper out, left the bottom, so that's why it's kind of hanging there, still attached. And the great debate is, do we go fashion or function with our Derby car? And what I mean by that, with anyone that's ever been in a Derby, the fashion side is leaving all this plastic and all this stuff they put on vehicles to make them stylish or aerodynamic or look cool or whatever it is. However, in a Derby, something like this takes one shot. It's likely going to rip out the bolts or the little plastic pieces that are holding it together. And now you're either dragging, it's underneath you, or it's in the middle of the arena, this giant bumper. And there's different parts of the car you can do that on. So the fashion side is, it looks nice, right? It looks like an actual car, to where the function side is, it kind of is just going to get in your way. So the smart move, the function move, is likely to pull this bumper off and then solidify it with an old school bumper, as long as the rules permit that, so that you don't have to worry about any of this nonsense getting caught up onto your vehicle. So for now, I think what we're going to do is we are going to simply disconnect the bumper, finish disconnecting it. Hudson is anxious to pop in. Hang on, bud. we're gonna finish disconnecting the bumper and we're gonna keep it. I don't believe we're gonna go the fashion style, but who knows, so we'll just keep it for now. And Hudson, before we sign off, what do you say? Should we go fashion or function?
Fashion.
Fashion. We want it to look stylish. We're probably gonna take 2 hits and be done with that anyways, so we might as well look cool. We shall see. So after some deliberation and continuing with the process, I believe we are definitely not going to go the fashion style of leaving the bumper in the front. I originally thought this right here would pop off, but then the more I looked at it, that is an entire piece that goes all the way under the fender well here to right here, and it's held on by these plastic clips. And you see there's 1, 2, 3, and then there was 4, 5, and 6 on the outside here. I already took the front ones off. But then there's also one, it's kind of hard to see, but one right up here, one right there, and another one that's hard to see is tucked in back in there. And whenever you pop that off, that, you can see I already did it here, there's the pieces. And again, easiest manner to do it, needle nose, pop that center out first, grab a hold of it, pop it out, and then that thing just pops right out. Very simple. But you can see this one now I have cut loose. This little lip here is tucked in along here, and now there she be. The entire fender, I got one more down in the corner there, comes out and that bumper pops off. So I think we are definitely gonna go the fashion, or excuse me, not go the fashion way, but rather function. Sorry, Hud, we're going function, not the fashion way.
No, fashion.
And here is the final aftermath. There you see, all pulled out. And this is what she now looks like. Hud says she's starting to look like a derby car. I would agree. See if we can get an old school big mount or get that plastic, or a bumper, get that plastic one off there, so we can solidify our front end. Hopefully our rules allow that, otherwise we're in trouble. There we go. There's Hud and Nora. Alright, so real quick video kind of showing where I think we're most likely going to kind of hold up everything, even though it's just the 1st of October today. I think for the most part we're going to leave her here until next spring, because I don't want to take the windows down, so I don't want to keep pulling wires and stuff in case I kill anything that's the ability to get the windows down. So here's kind of showing where we are at beginning of October. The seat I've unbolted, it's just sitting there. I got the carpet out, but there's some wires under that I don't want to mess with yet, so just kind of leaving it unbolted. This seat I might rip out, this rear seat, and then the trunk lining after I move it over to the garage shed, but that's all the inside. And then up front we got the plastic bumper off. Took a couple small stuff off around here. Right here was the windshield wiper fluid container. Just had a couple bolts, 3 there and then 1 up here holding it in. The hose was running around to the hood. You can see I've kind of pried those things out. We're going to cut into the hood there anyways. You're actually required to, and that's what we're going to plan on using to cover the sunroof. So this I think is most likely where we're going to stop. Don't want to open anything else up here like this. I want to keep that all on there, even though we're going to take it off, because that way just not an open kind of avenue for any rodents or in particular chipmunks to get in there and just wreak havoc and wreck our engine's world. So here she is, the 1st of October. I think we pretty much have all the main stuff out we're going to do until winter kind of starts to break. Again, the seat and that back there we might get to, but yeah, she's coming along. We'll get back at her here when we get to her. Alright, so here you can see our damage for this afternoon. We got the rear seat as well as the rear plastic cover where the rear speakers are. We got all of our seat belts out. So today, October 3rd, 2018, I think we are pretty much good to go in the inside for where we're going to stop for the winter. You can kind of see it looks pretty bare. The back carpeting there around the trunk and all that. I put a bunch of the parts in there, see if anybody wants any of the parts online, so I'll probably leave that there. You can see though, everything is pretty bare bones now. It's quite a mess. Haven't swept it out yet. You can see all the cables there. The dash we're gonna leave in. The seat, driver's seat's just sitting there. It's not bolted in yet. I wanna make sure it's where I want it and everything before I kill all the fuses there, or the lines running there. But yeah, here she is. Starting to really look like a derby car, as Hudson said. And you can see by the front too, we got the battery and everything in there, but we're gonna wait till next year to go at the front end. So she's coming along looking like a derby car. Alright, and here is our final completed project. Hang on, bud. See how we've got her down? Pull that skirt off. I didn't pull it all the way off. See, we've got a nice rusted rear mini bumper there. And we're good to go. We got it off. What does it look like? Oh yeah, looks good. And here's what a hard-working helper looks like, huh?
It looks really weird when he popped the back bumper.
It looks weird. Well, that's our derby, man. It's our derby car. It looks nice. It'll crinkle up nicely. We're good to go. Job done. Alright, so we're back to the Fusion. Today is May, what is today? I think today, May 8th is today, 2019. So here's the pieces we had torn off. That's all the stuff from the 2004 Cavalier. It's pretty much ready to go inside. This guy we left pretty close with most everything taken out, all the seats, the driver's seat's just sitting in there. All the plastic for the electronic windows and that I kept. See, I haven't taken the doors out. So what we're going to do now, because we want to get to cleanup day, is get rid of the last of the plastic. So in particular, that monster of a dash, which there's so many electronics in this car. I'm going to take my time, make sure I don't cut anything I shouldn't, or cut anything that won't run. But you can see, pretty much good to go. Going to take the airbags along the roof there. You can see they're already unplugged, disconnected. The airbags out of that, as well as the steering wheel, the dash and steering wheel. So just get rid of the ones on the side, kind of clean it up, sweep it some, and see if we can get this dash taken care of. So here we go. Alright, so here is the dash completely removed. And after I got it out, it kind of had one of my fears realized, really my only fear with this car being more modern and so electronic with all the safety bells and whistles and anti-theft. So the car right now will not start. If I disconnect this guy with the readings and everything, it does not prime the fuel pump to start. So I plug that back in, she primes and will fire up. Same thing with, if I disconnect either that big guy or that guy in the corner, I'm clearly disconnecting something that the junction box or the fuses do not like, and it won't prime the fuel pump to start. So this was kind of my fear with this car. Now I'm gonna have to do some research to see. She starts right now and runs, but I gotta do some research to see how I can unplug everything and redo the fuel tank with the fuel pump in here, etc. So stay tuned, see if we can do this. Alright, so just a quick little video here as we're trying to beat some rain to drop the tank in our Fusion. We've got our Walmart Rhino stands, if you will, jacking up our car, and of course we've got the front tires blocked. We've got the stands there just in case, and we've got our jack with our plywood ready to kind of catch our can, or our gas tank as it comes down. And there's my super sophisticated Amazon Prime box for my creeper, if you will. So we got our sockets, we're ready to go. Already loosened one strap. We're going to loosen the straps, drop it down some. Now this one, once I get the fill hose off, I definitely am going to need to siphon out some gas. This car had about 3/4 of a tank. My phone's going off there, the sonar. So we're going to have to siphon off at least some of the gas to kind of take some weight off and make it a lot easier to get out. So there we go with our gas tanks, all the ones we have. We'll have to fill our mowers and that whenever we fill up. So Cavalier seems to be pretty much ready to go, at least to this state, with the tank off, and we're ready to get our external fuel pump, and now we're going to try to get the Fusion there. So here we go.